Good evening and welcome to Sunset News. My name is Ashwin Berry. As always, you can expect local and international news, weather and sport, as well as a glimpse into what is happening in your environment in Community Talk and, of course, the story of the day. Let's get into your first news story. Prosecutor General Martha Imalwa has enlisted top South African legal mind Wim Trengove to argue against the bail granted to Fishrot accused Ricardo Gustavo last year. In what is expected to be an explosive legal fight, Imalwa is seemingly going all out to prove that Judge Herman Oosthuizen's decision to grant Gustavo bail was not well thought through and that the judge was misdirected and failed to consider and make an appropriate ruling. Now, 4 schools in the Omaheke region were shut down in the last term because of COVID-19 infections, with one remaining closed and isolated, Education Minister Anangu Pondoka said yesterday. She warned the public and parents not to be fooled by low cases of COVID-19, saying that one case in a community can result in an outbreak prompting mass closures. When delving into the Namibia Review report that was published by the African Peer Review Mechanism, some Namibian observers have reacted a little surprised. Many findings seem to have been accepted word for word from Namibian feedback without much investigation. For example, one finds that the report under the heading Democracy and Political Governance praises the biometric election process that had been disallowed by the Namibian Supreme Court during the previous local and regional elections in 2020. When assessing the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Office of the Ombudsman, the APRM does accede. Moreover, the institutions have attracted some negative perception from the media and a wide spectrum of society for allegedly targeting only small-scale corruption while ignoring that of politically connected individuals in the country. Now, reacting to persistent inquiries and research by interested parties and institutions, and not to mention journalists, the Namibian Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has now provided names of some of the bidders that were successful in the much criticized elephant auction that was advertised in December 2020 and was conducted early 2021. Nankuse is one of the successful local bidders. 37 of the 57 elephants have already been captured, and the first animals are due for exportation. A petition was read out at the Zoo Park this morning in which representatives of the San in Namibia asked that they be included in ongoing genocide compensation negotiations between the governments of Germany and Namibia. The petition was then handed to the acting secretary of the National Assembly, Joyce Nakuta, who accepted it on behalf of the office of the speaker. The handover was done by Chief Joseph Komoseba, presenting the royal household of High Chief Ananias Saroseba. Top UPM leaders and parliamentarians were also in attendance to lend their support to the cause.
The members of the San community are very disappointed with regard to our exclusion from the various national issues such as the negotiation between Namibia and the Germany on genocide. Our forefathers had been part of this country for many, many years, and we had suffered too under the German colonial rule. We have been excluded. Number one, we want to be included in the genocide negotiations as the San has been in this country for many, many years, and also suffered under the various regimes, including the German regime. And number two, we would also like to bring to attention of the Parliament in the continued discrimination against us and the invasion of land allocated to us without us being consulted. It is trusted that this petition will be taken to heart. Kindly.
Receiving this petition on behalf of the Speaker of the National Assembly, and in terms of Rule 97, I will hand it over to the Speaker, and the Office of the Speaker will give you feedback.
Now, while widespread thunder showers are expected on Wednesday over the Erongo and Kunene regions, Namibians are rejoicing in the rain that fell over the past few days, with up to 81.5 millimeters that was measured on Tuesday morning at Halali in the Etosha National Park. The best is apparently yet to come. The non-governmental organization Land Water told Republican that the rain fun will continue for the rest of the week, with weather systems strengthening again between Monday and Wednesday. Saturday. This means next week might bring the heaviest and most widespread rain for the season to Namibia, he told Republican. However, it is uncertain if rain will be coming to the northeast, while the deep southwest might receive some rain. That brings us to the end of our top stories. Now, tourism and hospitality operators came together for Walk for Love over the weekend. More on that story and more in our community talk after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get straight into today's community talk. Tourism and hospitality operators in Namibia this weekend joined other African countries in the first ever Walk for Love initiative held to propel the growth of the sector hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Have a look at how the event went.
The Walk for Love Connect Africa event in Namibia took place in Swakopmund on Saturday and attracted role players from the tourism and hospitality industry. Walk for Love is a pan-African project run in 23 countries and was initiated to create a network pool of operators. According to Namibian coordinator Joseph Kafunda, the idea is that operators unite to rebuild relations, empowering up businesses after the devastating effect of COVID-19 in the past 2 years. Local tour operators are optimistic about the initiative, hoping that the sector will re-emerge and yield steady growth through new customer-centric approaches. Namibia's travel and tourism sector, that has been hit hard by the pandemic, witnessed a positive trend in international tourist arrivals last year. According to the Tourism Ministry, tourism arrivals from January to December last year indicated an upward increase of almost 38% compared to 2020 figures.
Bright and beautiful smiles. Now, the IRDNC recently received a donation in support of the Kunene Highland elephants from the First Rand Foundation. This is what the money will be used for.
This will be used to enhance and support the organization's efforts towards human-wildlife coexistence research projects that offer practical solutions to keeping elephants out of crops and villages, as well as tourism initiatives aimed at helping communities understand the value in keeping these gentle giants alive. First Rand's Rivonia Kavihere said that while people the world over reap the benefits of maintaining flourishing wildlife populations, there are also cases where wildlife and human conflict has led to death and destruction. She said that this was the case with a unique elephant population known as the Kunene Highlands elephants, which have in the past conflicted with local communities over natural resources. This has been exacerbated by the drought conditions experienced over the last 6 years in that region. IRDNC Executive Director John Kasaone said that with this support, the organization will continue to work hand in hand with relevant communities and stakeholders towards establishing a long-term monitoring system as well as facilitating wildlife events. He said that the sharing of knowledge and incentivizing volunteer elephant rangers, as well as training of rangers and communities on elephant behavior, is also part of this initiative. Since human-to-elephant conflict is one of the issues identified, the focus will also expose communities to different approaches on how to avert and mitigate human-elephant conflict.
A much-needed donation for a much-loved species. That brings us to the end of our community talk. In your story of the day, we will be looking at the initiative between Liberty Life and the Cancer Association of Namibia. Stick around.
Choose your flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in 1 bundle. It's new, it's 1 bill, and you can stay connected in more than 1 location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
This is Sunset News, and this is your story of the day. Chika the Bear, an initiative between Liberty Life and the Cancer Association of Namibia, was launched on Tuesday. Today, that is. Yolanda Nell has more.
Tuesday marks International Childhood Cancer Day, and Liberty Life introduced the Chika Bear to celebrate the occasion.
And financial freedom doesn't just stem from the heavens, right? It means that we've got to do something, our customers have got to do something, and we've got to do something to meet them. And it comprises of us looking at ourselves as whole beings, not just our finances. Our whole beings, including different aspects like physical health, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, our mental health, and our financial health as well. So we're excited to launch Chika in support of the Cancer Association, and therein assisting from a physical health point of view. We wanted to do something that would positively impact the lives of Namibian children. To us, Chika is a symbol of the alignment of all three. We often don't let people see our internal struggles. So it's a call to let Chika be our symbol of strength as we entice our nation to start sharing with each other. When we naturally almost keep our internal struggles to ourselves. Chika will also, it's associated with a financial services company, so Chika is also going to share financial insights in bite-sized chunks for children. And in this, we cover the full spectrum. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, we're witnessing the launch of something that I trust will outlive us. We're proud to embark on this project together with the Cancer Association, and it's our hope that this initiative will become a staple event for Namibians for generations to come. Bears will be sold at $180 Namibian per bear, and they can be ordered through the Chika Bear website. Please, if you're wanting to make notes, chikanamibia.com. And you can link from the website to Chika's Facebook page and Instagram as well. All the proceeds, so bears will be delivered in September, which is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and all the proceeds will go to the Cancer Association of Namibia.
What a wonderful and essential initiative. Now in your economic news, we'll be talking about the repo rate announcement by the Bank of Namibia. Stick around.
Swiping or tapping your FNB Visa card is the safest, easiest, most rewarding way to transact. Because if you swipe your FNB Visa debit or credit card 3 times a month, you'll automatically be entered into the draw to win your share of a mammoth 250,000 Namibian dollars. Competition ends 15 February 2022. T's, C's and rules apply. Switch to FNB, Bank of the Changeables.
Now, in your economic news story, interest rates in Namibia are currently at a historic low of 3.75%, and the Bank of Namibia is expected to announce the new interest rates tomorrow. Theo Klein, economist at Simonis Storm, anticipates the Bank of Namibia to increase the repo rate by 125 basis points in 2022, taking it from 3.75% to 5% by the end of the year. With the South African Reserve Bank's repo rate hike to 4% in January, Robert McGregor, head of research at Cirrus Capital, expects the central bank to increase the repo rate as well. In addition, FNB's economist Rusa Nandago expects interest rates to end the year at 4.50%, 75 basis points higher than current levels. Meanwhile, IJG Securities, in their recent private sector credit extension report, expected the Bank of Namibia to hike interest rates by 25 basis points at the first monetary meeting. Theoretically, Namibia can deviate from the South African monetary policy to the upside due to the fear of capital outflow, Philippus Usiku reports. All right, let's get straight into your economic indicators. The Namibian dollar is up against all major currencies, currently at 15.04 next to the US dollar. On the NSX, Namibia brewery stock takes a 3% dip, while other stocks hold their ground. Nictus stayed put at 1.75, with the local index closing at 505.04. All commodities are up aside from gold, which closed down at 0.6%. That's our economic news. Now, communities are being warned against flood risks. More on that in our weather story and predictions after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. Let's get into your weather story. The Hydrological Services of Namibia has urged communities in flood-prone areas, especially in the Khomas Highland, Kwiseb and southern parts of the country, to be on high alert for possible floods and to take necessary precautionary measures. It said flows were reported in some of the western flowing ephemeral rivers due to heavy rains received in their catchment areas recently. The Hydrological Field Monitoring Team reported at the Kwiseb River at Khobabeb recorded 1.07 meters on Friday afternoon. The river level at Rooibank stood at 1.15 millimeters on Friday morning. In Windhoek, rivers are flowing due to recent heavy rainfalls. The Arebush River at Monrovia recorded 0.86 on Friday morning. Let's get into your weather predictions. It is partly cloudy in Windhoek and Katima, but thunderstorms are, however, expected in Rundu and Tsumeb, so make sure that umbrella is handy. You can expect sunshine in Walvish Bay with a maximum of 24 degrees, and Aranos takes over the position of hottest place in the country with 32 degrees. Now, Canada's Trudeau invokes emergency powers in a bid to end protests. We'll be getting into your international news just after the break. Now, in your international news, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday activated rarely used emergency powers in an effort to end protests that have shut some U.S. border crossings and paralyzed parts of the capital. Under the Emergencies Act, the government introduced measures intended to cut off protesters' funding and took steps to reinforce provincial and local law enforcement with federal police. But the Canadian Civil Liberties Association said the government had not met the standard for invoking the Emergencies Act, which is intended to deal with threats to sovereignty, security and territorial integrity, the group said. The Freedom Convoy protest started by Canadian truckers opposing a COVID-19 vaccine, vaccinate or quarantine mandate for cross-border drivers. These have drawn people opposed to Trudeau's policies on everything from pandemic restrictions to a carbon tax. Protesters blockaded the Ambassador's Bridge, a vital trade route, because between Windsor and Ontario and Detroit for 6 days before police cleared the protest on Sunday, while others have shut down smaller border crossings in Alberta, Manitoba and British Columbia. Protests in Ottawa, the nation's capital, entered a third week. Now, from Papama's move to Botswana's Premier League to the latest update on Nakatila's latest boxing career ambitions, you'll be able to catch your sports update after the break.
The My Inno Property Show provides viewers with the best-in-class property content, from looking for the perfect house to transforming it to the perfect home, with focus on interior designing, transforming your garden into a tranquil haven, to going green and having the funds and security of financing and insurance. The My Inno Property Show has it all. Tune in and make your house a home with our monthly My Inno Property Show on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 on all the NMH Facebook platforms and our website TV channel 1up2, 1up2.com.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's get straight into your sport. Former African Stars and Civics midfielder Marcel Papama has vowed to help the new club Jwaneng Galaxy succeed in the Botswana Premier League. Papama, who recently joined the club, is yet to make his official appearance due to pending work permit documents, but the player revealed that the permit will be out of the way soon. The Brave Warriors midfielder has been in Botswana since 1 January after penning a deal with the club. The Commerce Darts organization will hold its meeting that will enable them to set their season in motion tonight in Windhoek. The meeting will also serve as a registration center for those clubs that are eager to compete this season. The Commerce Darts League has been operating for over 25 years and is currently host to 6 clubs. The league does not get any funding from corporate Namibia and sources funds from registered clubs. The Namibia Sports Commission only funds the National Darts Association. Now in boxing, former global junior lightweight champion Jeremiah Loki Nakatila says he has gone up in his weight class because he wants a new challenge. The boxer has moved from the junior lightweight to the lightweight division. His next fight will be in the USA against Mexico's Miguel Berchelt on 26 March. The fighter, however, maintained that the move to fight in a bigger weight division is not yet permanent and he might only make a fixed decision after the fight in the USA. Stick around, we know you probably just got back from work. Your highlights after the break. Thank you for staying with us through the last half hour. Let's get into your highlights. In what is expected to be an explosive legal fight, Prosecutor General Martha Imalwa has enlisted top South African legal mind Wim Trengove to argue against the bail granted to Fishrot accused Ricardo Gustavo last year. Reacting to persistent inquiries and research by interested parties and institutions, not to mention journalists, the Namibian Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has now provided names of some of the bidders that were successful in the much criticized elephant auction that was advertised in December 2020 and was conducted early 2021. A petition was read out at the Zoo Park this morning in which representatives of the San in Namibia asked that they be included in the ongoing genocide compensation negotiations between the governments of Germany and Namibia. The petition was then handed to the acting secretary of the National Assembly, Joyce Nakuta, who accepted it on behalf of the office of the Speaker. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook and on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website oneup2.com from 7:30. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 as well as GoTV channel 94. Have a wonderful and restful Tuesday evening, and we will meet same time, same place tomorrow. And remember, you shouldn't end your day without us.